was a great result for you, and it looks like there was a lot of great fan support for you over there too. So how was it to start 26 with a result like that?
It's so great. I loved Auckland. It was my first time.
Eala breaks the internet, the wild rumors, the crazy records, and the brutal truth about her Dubai earthquake that has the entire tennis world shaking. Welcome back to Champions Tennisitics, the absolute hottest corner of the tennis universe, where we do not just cover the sport. We live it, breathe it, and bring you every jaw-dropping, pulse-pounding, screen-shattering moment that the mainstream media is too scared to touch with the level of energy it truly deserves. If you are watching this right now, buckle up, because today we are going deeper than we have ever gone, into the phenomenon that is 20-year-old Alexandra Eala, the Filipina firecracker who just detonated a nuclear bomb in the middle of the Dubai desert and left the entire Women's Tennis Association picking up the pieces. This is not just a story about a tennis match. This is not just a story about a young girl with a big backhand and a bigger smile. This is the story of a once-in-a-generation talent who is rewriting history in real time, shattering records that have stood for over 2 decades, and doing it all while an army of the most passionate, loudest, most unbelievably devoted fans on the entire planet chant her name so loudly that the walls of the Aviation Club Tennis Center in Dubai are still vibrating. This is the full story, every wild detail, every insane record, every dramatic twist. And yes, we are going to address the crazy rumors that have been swirling around the internet like a sandstorm in the UAE, because Champions Tennisitics does not shy away from the drama. We chase it, we dissect it, and we give you the unfiltered truth. Let us get into it. First, let us set the stage with the kind of cinematic backdrop this story deserves. We are in Dubai, the city of gold, the city of spectacle, the city where the impossible becomes reality on a daily basis. The Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships, a WTA 1000 event, one of the most prestigious stops on the entire women's tour, where champions are made and legacies are cemented. The stakes could not be higher. The competition could not be fiercer. And into this pressure cooker walks Alex Eala, ranked number 47 in the world at the start of the tournament, looking to prove that her stunning 2025 Miami Open semifinal run was not some magical, once-in-a-lifetime fairy tale that would never be repeated. She had a point to prove. She had a crowd behind her. And she had a racket that was absolutely on fire from the very first ball she struck. Now, before we get to the match that broke the internet and spawned the wildest rumors this side of a tabloid fever dream, we need to talk about the foundation of brilliance that Eala had been building all week long. Because here is the thing about Alex Eala that so many casual fans still do not fully appreciate. This is not a girl who gets lucky in one round and then folds under pressure. This is a cold-blooded competitor who builds momentum like a freight train gathering speed on a downhill slope. And by the time she faced Cersei in the round of 16, that freight train was absolutely flying. Let us rewind to round 1. Eala stepped onto the court against Hailey Baptiste, the American number 39 in the world, and dispatched her with a brisk 6-4 victory before Baptiste had to retire with an abdominal injury in the second set. Some people looked at that result and thought, well, it was not the cleanest of wins. But anyone who watched that match knew Eala was already locked in, already dialing in her ground strokes, and already feeding off the enormous energy of the Filipino expat community that had essentially commandeered the Aviation Club Tennis Center and turned it into the most electric atmosphere on the entire WTA circuit. The chants of "Ale, Ale, Ale" were echoing off the walls with a passion and a volume that players who have been on tour for 15 years said they had genuinely never experienced before at a regular tour event. This was not just a tennis crowd. This was a movement. Then came round 2, and this is where Alex Eala announced herself to the world in a way that sent shockwaves from Dubai all the way back to Manila and every Filipino community in between. Standing across the net was Jasmine Palini, the world number 8, the former Dubai champion, one of the most decorated and dangerous players on the WTA Tour, and a Grand Slam finalist. Palini is not someone who goes down without an absolute war. She is gritty. She is experienced. She is tactically brilliant. And she had home court advantage in the sense that she had lifted the trophy at this very venue before. What Eala did to her in that first set should be studied in tennis academies around the world. She was relentless, dominant, tactical, and physically imposing in a way that left the crowd absolutely stunned. 6-1. Eala won the first set 6-1 against a top 10 player, and it barely even felt competitive. But this is where the match turned into genuine drama, the kind of drama that Champions Tennisitics was born to cover. Palini, being the champion that she is, clawed back in the second set. She fought off 3 separate match points when she was serving at 3-5 and staring down the barrel of a humiliating double bagel defeat. She won 3 straight games, pushed it to a tiebreaker, and the tension inside that stadium was absolutely suffocating. 3 match points. Eala had 3 separate chances to close it out, and Palini refused. The crowd held its collective breath. And then, with the poise and the nerve of someone who has been in big moments their whole life, Eala stepped up in the tiebreaker, found her bravest tennis, and converted on her 5th match point with a thunderous forehand winner that sent the building into complete delirium. 7-6 in the tiebreak. Match to Eala. And with that victory, Alexandra Eala became the first Filipino player to reach the round of 16 at the Dubai Tennis Championships in the 25-year history of the event, and she collected her 3rd top 10 win at the WTA level, joining the elite company of players who can legitimately say they consistently beat the best in the world. After the match, she addressed her beloved Filipino crowd briefly in Tagalog, a moment that moved people in the stands to genuine tears and went absolutely viral all over social media within minutes. This is the kind of human connection that transcends sport, and it is exactly why Alex Eala is not just a tennis player. She is a phenomenon. And that brings us, finally, to the match that broke the internet. The round of 16 showdown between 20-year-old Alexandra Eala and 35-year-old Cersei of Romania, one of the canniest, most experienced veterans on the entire WTA Tour, and a player who had actually beaten Eala just a year earlier at the 2024 Mutua Madrid Open in a brutal 3-set battle. This was not just a tennis match. This was revenge. This was a statement. And this was the match that lit up social media with some of the most outrageous, most bonkers, most creative conspiracy theories the tennis community has ever produced. Let us talk about what actually happened on the court first, because the Real story is extraordinary enough without any embellishment. From the moment the match began, Eala was operating on a completely different level. She was moving differently, hitting differently, and competing with an intensity that seemed to rattle the vastly more experienced Cersei from the very beginning. The second set is where things got genuinely jaw-dropping. Eala came out with the kind of controlled aggression that coaches spend entire careers trying to teach players and most never fully achieve. She raced to a 4-0 lead with 2 clean service breaks, stepping inside the baseline on Cersei's delivery and consistently forcing errors from the Romanian with the sheer pace and angle of her returns. She was dictating every single rally. She was controlling the center of the court like a general commanding a battlefield. And her footwork. Oh, let us talk about the footwork, because this is where things got absolutely wild both on the court and off it. In the late stages of that second set, when Cersei miraculously pulled herself back from 1-5 down to make it 5-4 and threatened to turn the whole thing upside down, Eala showcased a level of court coverage that genuinely looked supernatural. She was tracking down drop shots that had no business being retrieved. She was sliding into wide forehands and whipping winners back up the line from angles that should have been physically impossible. She was getting to serves that were deep into the corners and redirecting them with pace and precision. The crowd was going absolutely berserk, but more than the crowd, the cameras kept cutting to the faces of the people watching courtside, the coaches, the other players, the officials, and every single one of them looked like they had just witnessed something they could not fully process or explain. Eala closed out the match 10-4 in the second set, finishing it in 98 total minutes with a composed service game that demonstrated exactly why she is becoming one of the most mentally formidable young players on the circuit. She had weathered Cersei's late storm, held her nerve, and delivered the win that made her not just the first Filipino quarterfinalist in Dubai's history, but also one of only 3 Asian women to reach multiple WTA 1000 quarterfinals before turning 21. The other 2? Naomi Osaka and Olympic gold medalist Zheng Qinwen. That is the company we are talking about. That is the tier that Eala is operating in right now, and it is breathtaking to watch unfold in real time. Now, here is where we have to address the elephant in the room, or more accurately, the sandstorm on the internet, because Champions Tennisitics prides itself on telling you the whole story, not just the comfortable parts. In the hours following Eala's victory over Cersei, social media absolutely erupted with the most sensational claims. Posts were flying around claiming that Cersei's camp, including her well-known coach Sven Groneveld, were so shocked and so suspicious of Eala's physical performance that they had supposedly demanded an emergency, on-the-spot doping test from the International Tennis Integrity Agency. The rumors spread like wildfire. People were claiming there was secret footage of a locker room confrontation. People were claiming that ITIA officials had been scrambled to the venue in the middle of the night. People were tagging journalists, tagging officials, tagging WTA representatives, and demanding answers. Here at Champions Tennisitics, we went searching for the facts, because that is what we do, and here is the truth. There was no emergency doping test. There was no formal complaint submitted to the ITIA by Cersei's camp. There was no secret footage, no locker room showdown, no cover-up of any kind. The rumors were completely and utterly fabricated, born from the minds of people who simply could not accept that a 20-year-old Filipina could move that fast, cover that much court, and perform at that level through pure talent, dedication, and an absolutely elite physical conditioning program. Let that sink in for a moment. Eala's legitimate, hard-earned, completely natural athleticism was so extraordinary that people on the internet could not believe it was real. She is so good that conspiracy theories spontaneously generate in her wake. If that is not the definition of a generational talent, we genuinely do not know what is. And here is the real kicker, the detail that makes this whole story even more poetic. The enormous age gap between Eala and Cersei, 15 years and 46 days, was the largest between 2 opponents from the round of 16 onward at Dubai since the tournament's very founding in the year 2001. 25 years of Dubai tennis history, and no gap between 2 quarterfinalists had ever been this large. Eala, young enough to be Cersei's daughter, stood across the net and refused to blink. Youth against experience, speed against savvy, the future against the present, and on this particular night in the Dubai desert, the future won. But the story does not end there, because the quarterfinal awaited, and what a quarterfinal it was setting up to be. Eala versus Coco Gauff, world number 4, 2-time Grand Slam champion, reigning French Open title holder, and coincidentally, Eala's former doubles partner at the Italian Open. 2 young women who genuinely like and respect each other, who have shared laughs and meals and practice courts together, suddenly forced to meet across a net in one of the biggest matches of Eala's young career. The anticipation was absolutely insane. The tennis world was buzzing. The Filipino community was organizing watch parties from Dubai to Doha to Dallas. And Gauff herself acknowledged the magnitude of what she was walking into, smiling at a press conference and saying to the crowd, "I know you guys are probably here for Alex, so I'm sorry to make you wait." That is how big the Eala movement has become. The top 4 player in the entire world was essentially apologizing in advance to a stadium full of fans who were there for her opponent. What happened in that quarterfinal was, by every objective measure, a masterclass from Coco Gauff. She came out firing on every cylinder, serving brilliantly, striking her forehand with ferocious, heavy pace, and simply not giving Eala the time or the space to dictate from the baseline the way she had done against Palini and Cersei. The scoreline, 6-love, 6-2, tells a stark story. Gauff was a buzzsaw, and there was very little Eala could do against the caliber of tennis being produced by a player operating at the absolute peak of her considerable powers. There was one bright moment for Eala, a stretch in the second set where she steadied herself, held serve, and managed to break Gauff's delivery to bring it back to 4-2, giving the crowd a brief, tantalizing glimpse of what might be. But Gauff immediately broke back, served out the match with authority, and that was that. In the aftermath, Eala was characteristically honest and gracious, acknowledging the gap between herself and Gauff while framing it in the most optimistic terms possible. She said clearly that there is still definitely a gap between her and Coco, but the way she said it did not sound like defeat. It sounded like a target being locked in.
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for me. Win or lose tomorrow, I think it's great for me to learn. Obviously, facing a player like Coco is, something people like.
It sounded like a player who has just identified exactly what she needs to work on and is already mentally drawing up the training schedule. This is the mentality of a champion in the making, not someone crumbling under the weight of a heavy loss, but someone using every experience, even a brutal 6-love, 6-2 beating at the hands of a Grand Slam champion, as fuel for the furnace of her ambition. The Gauff match, painful as the scoreline was, contains within it the most valuable lesson of Eala's young career to this point. Gauff's dominance in that quarterfinal was built on one thing above all else: aggressive, high-quality first-strike tennis. She did not wait for rallies to develop. She attacked from the very first ball and kept attacking relentlessly, giving Eala no opportunity to settle into the kind of extended baseline exchanges where her court coverage and endurance give her such a massive edge over opponents. To beat a player like Gauff, Eala is going to need to shorten the points on her own terms, add more weapon-like quality to her serve, and develop the ability to hit through opponents rather than always relying on her extraordinary physical tools to grind them down. These are coachable things. These are improvable things. And given the rate at which she has developed over the past 12 months, there is every reason to believe that the next time these two square off, it will look very, very different. The tennis world is paying attention now in a way it simply was not 12 months ago. When Eala made her Miami run in 2025, there was a sense of delightful surprise, a feeling that this was a wonderful, unexpected story that everyone could enjoy before the established order reasserted itself. Dubai has changed that narrative completely and permanently. This is no longer a surprise. This is no longer a feel-good cameo. This is a legitimate, sustained, historically significant rise through the rankings by a player who possesses the physical gifts, the tactical intelligence, the competitive mentality, and the absolutely extraordinary home support to make a deep, lasting impact on women's tennis for the next decade and beyond. The veterans know it. The coaches know it. The fans know it. And somewhere in the back of her mind, Coco Gauff, who will likely face Eala again before the year is out, knows it too. There is a broader story here as well that deserves to be acknowledged, because Eala is not just making history for herself. She is making history for an entire nation, for a sport that has historically lacked representation from Southeast Asia at the very highest levels, and for every young girl in the Philippines who has ever picked up a tennis racket and dreamed of playing on the biggest stages in the world. Every time the cameras cut to those packed stands in Dubai, every time the Ale chants ring out across the court, every time a Filipino fan watching from halfway around the world breaks down in tears at what they are witnessing, it is a reminder that sport at its best is about more than just winning and losing. It is about representation, about possibility, about the deeply human need to see someone who looks like you, who comes from where you come from, standing tall on the grandest stages and competing with the absolute best in the world. Eala is giving that gift to an entire nation, and the power of it should not be underestimated or understated. The wild internet rumors about doping tests and secret ITIA complaints were always going to fade away the moment someone with even a passing familiarity with the actual facts of the situation took a careful look at them. But what will not fade away, what cannot be dismissed or debunked or explained away, is the simple, extraordinary, undeniable reality of what Eala has accomplished and continues to accomplish every single time she walks onto a tennis court. She is one of the most exciting young players in the world. She is rewriting the record books of a sport that has been played at the elite level for decades. She is doing it honestly, doing it naturally, and doing it with a grace and a passion and a connection to her fans that is genuinely rare in professional sports at any level. The Dubai sandstorm has settled. The conspiracy theories have been put to bed. The scorecards have been filed, and the ranking points have been distributed. And when the dust clears, what we are left with is this. A 20-year-old girl from the Philippines just walked into one of the most prestigious tennis tournaments on the planet, beat a top 10 player and a top 30 veteran back-to-back, made history at every turn, inspired millions of people around the world, climbed to a career-high ranking of 32 in the world, and then handled a heavy quarterfinal loss with the composure and the forward-looking determination of a champion who knows that this is not the end of anything. It is the beginning of everything. Eala has arrived. The WTA Tour has been officially put on notice, and Champions Tennisitics will be right here, every single step of the way, bringing you every moment of this extraordinary journey with the passion, the drama, the energy, and the obsessive love of this sport that you deserve. Do not look away. You absolutely do not want to miss what comes next. Now we want to hear from you, because this is Champions Tennisitics, and our community is the heartbeat of everything we do. Do you believe Eala can crack the top 20 before the end of this year? Do you think she has what it takes to beat Gauff the next time these two meet? Is this Dubai run the proof that she is no longer just a rising star, but a genuine, certified, undeniable force to be reckoned with at the highest levels of women's tennis? And most importantly, what do you think her best result at Indian Wells in Miami is going to be? Drop your hottest, most unfiltered, most passionate takes down in the comments right now, because we read every single one of them, and we love the conversation that this incredible community creates together. If this video fired you up, if it gave you all the chills and all the drama that you come to Champions Tennisitics for, then please smash that like button so hard it feels the impact from Dubai. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss a single upload, and ring that notification bell so you are always the first to know when we drop the next one. We are Champions Tennisitics, and we will see you in the next episode. Ale.